Spoiler alert, the following podcast includes discussions on film that may potentially, intentionally or inadvertently, reveal plot twists, character traits, story details, up to and including endings that might otherwise be considered spoilers. Proceed at your own risk.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
All right, let's kill that. All right.
Hey,
so
what? Huh? What?
Whoa, what?
Yes.
Teeth.
We're live. and this is Moviesucktastic episode number 200, right?
227.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And this is the one that's slightly inebriated is Scott, and then the one complaining about bandwidth is Joey.
Hey. Oh, I got to put us on the screen. We're not even on the screen yet.
And we are on, I should put my drink right in front of my, and we are on Moviesucktastic, the podcast that's been coming to you for years that you probably never heard of till today.
And if you've heard about it today, where the hell have you been? The fuck? Think this shit's easy?
Yeah, right?
It ain't easy.
Well, my end's easy because I'm not dealing with any of the production bullshit.
We've been doing this shit for eight fucking years.
Is it 8 years now?
Or is it 9 years?
Wow.
God, has it been 9 years?
It's around that, yeah.
The fuck is wrong with us?
I don't know. We just have nothing better to do.
I do actually have something better to do.
I've got 20 things I could be doing right now, but instead, we're going to be reviewing Death Wish 3.
Yeah,
and why? Because Death Wish 3 is the best fucking Death Wish ever. And possibly the worst.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, I could be over there, just that side of my basement, playing Dead Rising 4 as we speak.
So could I.
Yes, you
Different
could.
basement, the same. Yeah, we're both recording from basements now, which is the first time that's happened. Yeah. Now, can you want to explain why we're doing Death Wish 3 this episode?
Yes. Okay. So, for the life of me, I can't remember the actor's name. But August 2009. So it is 8 years we've been doing this shit.
Okay.
Anyway, so last week we reviewed Willow, and that was your challenge to me. So my challenge to you was an actor connection, which was the actor that
Hurley, right?
Yes, the actor that played Eric in Willow, or as I like to call him, Eric the Viking. He is in Death Wish 3, and that is the actor connection. He was also.
And I'm pretty sure his name is Hurley he.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, born in Ireland and everything.
Right.
I love his face that he makes right at the end of the movie. That should be our banner for Moviesucktastic this week. Should be that face.
I looked at that, but I can't get a clear shot of it, so no.
Oh, I can get it.
If you can get a clear shot of that, go for it. But I tried and was unable to.
Oh, I'll get it.
And which, ironically, is the exact same facial expression you get when you realize you're about to be shot with a rocket launcher. He's like,
I think he made that same face in Superman 3. I think he just makes that face.
hey, that when you hire Gavin O'Hurley, you're hiring that face.
His name is Gavin.
Gavin.
Weirdest haircut ever.
The reverse mohawk. Holly sat through about the first half hour of this, and she was like, "That reverse mohawk." She's like, "The worst haircut ever." It's like, "Yeah, he's a villain." Hello. She didn't make it through the whole film, so
I think he's naturally balding. The whole shoehorn thing. So
I don't think so.
No. I know. I think he is.
Well,
and I think he just said, "Well, you know what? I already got this going down. Let's just keep going."
he had plenty of hair even when he was in Superman 3.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. Hey, no matter what, it worked for the film.
I bet it was his. I bet it was his idea.
I don't know. You think he was on hand as Mira Van Peebles was during
Exterminator 2?
Executioner 2?
Exterminator 2?
Yeah. I would actually like to see O'Hurley versus Van Peebles.
Yeah,
like those street gangs fight.
This is essentially, it's kind of the same movie.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that.
Will we?
Now, the first thing I want to mention off the bat, besides Hurley, is the opening music.
Which I like.
It's like, for a split second, I was like, did I accidentally turn on Beverly Hills Cop 3?
But then the music from there goes into the more dramatic,
Right.
like long bass. It's just like, oh,
now,
wow.
Here's what I want to mention. Here's a synchronicity for you. Literally last night, I'm reading a book on Aleister Crowley, and in it mentions that Jimmy Page, the musician from Led Zeppelin, did the music for the Kenneth Anger film Lucifer Rising.
Really?
Now, most of this probably means nothing to you.
No.
However, the next day, I'm rewatching Death Wish 3 for the 10,000th time, and I noticed in the opening that the music for this film is done by the same Jimmy Page, who apparently did the soundtrack for Death Wish 2 and 3.
And this is Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin?
Yes. So Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, who has direct ties to Aleister Crowley through Kenneth Anger, did the soundtrack for this.
Oh, my.
That's my 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon for you, with no Kevin Bacon. That's my 6 degrees to Aleister Crowley.
That's
which is just as successful.
It's pretty crazy.
Believe me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But that's the first thing that threw me for a loop. Was like, this music's wacky. Oh, this music's linked to a cultist. Okay.
That's not well, because the last studio album that Zeppelin did was in 1980, so I guess he had some free fucking time.
Yeah, he was doing soundtracks for a lot of things, Kenneth Anger included. But yeah, he worked with Michael Winter, the director and supposed sex slave keeper. And
you mean Michael Winner?
Yeah, that's what I meant, Michael Winter. Yeah, because he's a winner. You're
thinking of Alex Winter. I actually read up on him today.
Alex Winter? Oh, he did not.
No, he didn't. Michael Winner. I read up
Michael
on
Winter,
him.
Yeah.
Apparently, his mother was a degenerate gambler, and sold or gave away like artwork worth millions of dollars for her gambling addiction, and that's where he got his taste in art and antiques and things like that. And he had a lot of different collectibles. And he, when he died, I still don't know how he died. I just know that he had organ failure. But it's...
Well, when you die, the organs fail.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, because the thing is, he was also, later in life, he was a food critic.
Yes. Yeah.
and a very popular one, too. And he was in the Bahamas or some tropical island, okay? And he had a plate of bad oysters.
Yeah, he was in the hospital for a long time.
3-4 months. He lost
the use of one leg.
Yeah, he ended up with a cane.
He used a cane afterwards because like the ligaments and shit were killed. because oysters are fucking vicious.
Well, he had some super rare virus that he got from these bad oysters. And they said that he never recovered from that plate of bad oysters, and it's what ultimately did him in. I was like, holy shit. So he had, like, they said, I think what it ended up being was like a liver failure, which then, fucked the rest of him up.
Yeah,
but because they said he was trying to do assisted suicide, and he would had to have gone to Switzerland for it, and it ended up not working out. Are you okay there?
Well, there's something crawling on my chest. I don't know what the hell this is.
Yes.
Wow, having to go to Switzerland for assisted suicide. But Switzerland's so nice once you get there. You're like, well, maybe I should think of this through.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think they did that on purpose to try to talk people out of it. Say, oh, we'll help you with your suicide, but first, have some of our chocolate and take a look at these clocks. And you're like, wow, life's worth living. Now, what are we playing in the background, sir, since I'm not watching the show live?
Death Wish 3 is on in the background.
Well, are we on the part where he's in the in the police station?
We're at the part where they shared a cell, and
Okay.
a fracker, he's like, you know what I'm going to do for you? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill an old lady just for you.
I'm ahead a little too far, so I gotta backtrack.
You got to backtrack. 13-minute mark.
I'm too far back.
13-minute mark. You should be at the 13-minute mark.
13. Okay. Just gotta reset my timer here. I love the scene where they're beating him.
Yeah.
And then the one guy, like, off camera is like, you thirsty? You want some water? We can't have it. Holly, for the half hour she was watching with, she was on. She's like, I just all of a sudden out of her side, I was like, you want a lollipop? Can't have it. Ha! Worst interrogation ever.
Totally.
Like in between, like beating him in the ribs with a nightstick. You want some water? Can't have it.
He's like fucking like the bully on the playground.
Yeah.
You want this? You want my baseball cards? You can't have it. You want my ice cream? No.
Now I want to say I was very disappointed in Holly because when what's his name, Fracker. When Fracker meets his lawyer, I paused. I was like, that guy, his lawyer. You recognize who he is? It's like, who? That's the guy on the train with Val Kilmer in Top Secret.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, she's like, who? The guy who dies by using the anal intruder. It's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Says, oh, and you call yourself a Top Secret fan. Really?
You know who else I noticed in here? One of the cops is the police chief or lieutenant or one of the higher ups in Ghostbusters, where he's like right where he what's his face is having them turn off the power, the grid, and he tells him, he goes, you haven't turned out. He goes, all right, pencil neck, you don't tell me how to do my job. That guy, he's one of the cops in this.
Holly pointed out to me too, like during that sequence where he's talking to his crew afterwards. I mean, like when the police chief's giving his NYPD blue speech.
Yeah.
Or no, his Hill Street blue speech. Sorry, I got it mixed up. There's one guy. There's like all these guys in blue, and then there's one guy off to the left, like in like a yellow ascot with his hand up like this. I was like, who the fuck is that? He's like the guy with the eye patch that sells the hat in JD's Revenge. He's like, fuck everything. I want to know the backstory to this guy. Because how is he pulling off a yellow ascot and a limp wrist in his police station and no one's looking at him?
Right.
And don't tell me he's working Vice, because no fucking way.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Now this is the third film in the Death Wish series, in case you didn't realize that.
Yeah. Takes place 10 or 11 years after the first one, which they pretty much say is in real time, because when he meets the police chief, he goes, because his name is his real name is Kersey, but
Kersey, right.
He calls himself in the film, what does he call himself, like Kimball or something like that?
Kimball, yeah. He changed his name.
Yeah, because obviously he's a vigilante, so when you do that, you change your name.
Well,
so,
and like when the cops know who you are.
So
you want
he basically tells me, he goes, "You're not Kimball. I know who you are. You're Paul Kersey." And he goes like, like 10 years ago, I was working the night that you pulled off all those murders or whatever. So the first film came out in 1974. This came out in 1985. So this is actually, it's real time.
Well, because after the first film, they moved him to L.A., and now like he's back in New York, even though most of the film was shot in England. Shh.
Actually, I saw a lot of the locations that said Brooklyn.
Yeah,
there was one shot location that said the UK.
There were a lot of scenes uncredited shot in England because David Winter's English.
Right.
And if you look at some of the Alex Winter interviews, he did claim that one of the reasons he was hired as an extra is because he had a British passport because he was from England.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Alex Winter, by the way, if you ever get a chance to read any interviews or watch any interviews with him about Death Wish 3, he hated this fucking movie.
as he should have.
If you see anything that says Alex Winter and Death Wish 3, watch it or read it because it'll be entertaining. But anyway, this is the third part in Death Wish. Yeah. Now, here's the interesting thing I want to mention, being from the literary end of things, is that I doing research for film, Brian Garfield, who wrote Death Wish and Death Wish 2, which these films are based off of, Death Wish 2 not so much until they actually did
Death Sentence,
which had nothing to do with Death Wish 2, so ignore that. But apparently there was no novelization for Death Wish 3 because Brian Garfield, the author of the original book, had all the rights to the he had all the literary rights to Death Wish characters, and he specifically didn't want any novelizations of the films.
Oh wow!
Which I can understand because his name's on Death Wish.
Right.
I guess he didn't want anybody else doing Death Wish besides him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
No, I'm with him on that. You know, you want your films, take your films, but don't fuck with my literary angle. That's all. Yeah. And you know, I'm a fan of the first book, and I don't know if I'm as much of a fan of the first movie compared to the book, but Death Wish 3 is my favorite Death Wish, even though it's probably the worst one.
No, well, yeah. And you know what? I'm rewatching this, and I'm just saying to myself, is there going to be anything Clown Hammer-ish? And about the closest thing to that, just like something weird on screen, was all those people parading around with balloons when they go in to get Charles Bronson. It's just like, what is this nonsense? It's just like,
I guess it's supposed to be Halloween.
They're all celebrating?
I guess.
It's not. Well, if it is Halloween, they fucked up because earlier or later in the film, the one couple says, we got our windows nailed shut. It's 90 degrees outside.
Yeah, so it's definitely summertime. So maybe it was 4th of July. I don't know. But they're running around with balloons going, woo! They didn't bother setting that up. They just said,
no.
You know, now, to be honest, if you're walking down the street, you see a bunch of people with balloons, you don't immediately say, hey, what holiday is this?
Right.
Maybe they have their own holiday.
Maybe they do. But it wasn't
like citywide. It was just like this one block.
It was as close to a clown hammer as I think we were going to get in this.
Yeah, it probably just like a birthday party gone awry. That's, you know.
There's Alex Winter telling the girl he wants to eat her.
Poor Alex Winter. Yeah.
Well, his career actually went up from this. It didn't go down.
I know in interviews he said that like he took this job because he was a starving art school, like a film school student, and needed the money. And I also read something where he refused to be in the rape scene with the black girl, and he actually traded spots with somebody else that was like wanted more screen time.
Oh, really? No, actually, it was like a Spanish girl. But yes, you're right.
From the interviews and stuff, I really get a feeling that like Alex Winter has really detested the whole concept of a Death Wish 3.
Yeah. He took it because it was a job, of course.
You know, and one thing...
He ended up doing Bill and Ted. He did Lost Boys in 1987, only a couple of years after this. Then he did Bill and Ted.
This was his second film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it makes you... I was thinking about this, too, because you watch this film, the extras, like the people that are playing the street punks, they're the ones that are like aspiring actors.
Sure. Oh,
But
yeah.
then you have like Charles Bronson, who's like, yeah, this is my job.
Yeah.
So really, when you watch this film, watch the street punks because they're the ones that are actually trying to do something. Like the giggler, I guarantee the giggler spent like hours thinking out like his past history and his motivation. Whereas Bronson was just like, yeah, so tomorrow I shoot some guys. It's just.
Didn't Alex Winter say something along the lines that he was being driven from like one part of the set to the other, and it was like 50 feet away? So instead of
I think
walking,
like he had his own vehicle on set. He would drive like 30 feet from his trailer to the scene, and I think the actual quote was something along the lines of, "It was more like somebody watching somebody play golf than act."
It's hilarious.
Now, and also, I mean, but then again, don't forget Charles Bronson, who's dead, by the way.
Very dead.
He's one of those guys that every time I see him, I still think he's alive. And he died in 2003, and I'm like, fuck, I thought he was still alive.
Yeah, he was like 80-something when he died.
Well, when he filmed this film, he's 63.
Yeah.
This is a 63-year-old man taking, like, body hits from cops.
And he still has a fucking six-pack. Did you notice that?
Yeah, well, they gloss over it a little bit. He doesn't have as many nude scenes in this as he did the first Death Wish. When Death Wish 1 opens up with him in a Speedo on a beach. It's like, oh, thank you, Chuck. Yeah, we get it. But, Chuck? I mean, this scene, they do have him betting the hot chick who dies immediately in an accident between two Pintos, apparently.
Yeah, and he goes and he gets his mail at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Who fucking does that?
Well, the guy waiting for armaments to come in the mail, obviously.
And I know it's the city that never sleeps, but I'm not buying that some mail place is still open that late.
Some of them are over 24 hours if they have like money wiring. Dude, it wasn't the post office. This was like a private company.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Come on, get with it, sir.
Get with it. Yeah, it is the city that never sleeps. So, I mean, I'm not shitting on it. I'm very forgiving.
I'll shit on New York any chance I get.
Yes, I noticed.
Dude, I've worked there. Fuck that city.
Well, yeah, I've kind of worked in that general area my whole life, so yeah. Anyway.
Wait. You've worked in that general area all your life?
Yeah, I work on the outskirts of New York.
Outskirts. So you worked on the outskirts of New York. Have you ever, by chance, driven a cube truck through the city at 2 a.m?
I've been in New York City at 2 a.m.
Have you driven a cube van through the city at 2 a.m?
No.
All right, then I've worked in the city. You've just kind of.
Well, I've wallpapered a few and painted a few funeral parlors in New York City, so I have worked in the city.
Do you drive there in a van or a pickup truck?
The work van, yeah.
Work van? That's adorable. Yeah.
Fuck you.
All I'm saying is I have more New York City experience than you do. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure you do, but I've done jobs in New York City, so you can bite me. You think it's great? I've accidentally gone over the GW and ended up in New York City for no reason. That was fun that day. It was one of the first times I was. It was very early in my IT career because they give me a work van, and I end up in Fort Lee for a job, and I just make the wrong turn and I get on. I'm like, wow, wait a minute. And then once you're taking the GW, that's it. You got to go all the way to the end and then turn around. So I ended up stopping and just getting a hot dog. I'm like, forget it.
Should have got a gyro.
I did. Where I ended up, it was a hot dog truck. I just ended up at the hot dog truck.
If there's one thing I miss, it's streetcar gyros. That's the only thing New York City has to offer, besides the Rockettes and that's it. Yeah. Rockettes and streetcar gyros. That's it. Everything else is a complete shit waste of time.
Gyros.
And towers. No, wait, they're gone now. Never mind.
Whoa. What the fuck's wrong with you?
What?
What's interesting?
They were great when they were there.
When they did the whole skyline of this, the Twin Towers were not in it at all. I'm like, is this even New York City?
It's probably the British one.
It was a big skyline that they showed. I'm like, where is the fucking Twin Towers?
They probably shot at the wrong angle. That's all. Well, you can tell the opening scene when it's shooting the bus on the highway, and the frame is shaking slightly. That means that they're shooting really telescopically from like a building far away because they don't have the rights to shoot there.
Yeah.
so that's why they don't have it, because they're shooting from a rooftop in like Newark or
Jersey City, probably
Jersey City, or where we're Hoboken. They're on a tall building in Hoboken, shooting the bus coming off the turnpike. And like, yeah, we're not going to get the Twin Towers in this one. Yeah, we don't have the rights. That's why we're shooting half the shit in England. This is Golden Globus. Come on.
Yeah. Menachem.
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 Yeah. So anyway, the movie. Charles Bronson comes into town. Now, the first film, they rape and kill his wife and rape his daughter. Second film, they kill his daughter.
Goddamn rich cunts.
Did they kill his girlfriend in part 2? I don't remember.
I kill rich cunts.
I forget if they killed a girlfriend in part 2.
They kill the daughter in part 2.
Right, but I don't remember if the girlfriend lives in part 2 or not.
I think everyone he knows dies.
We reviewed part 2, didn't we?
No.
I could have sworn we did.
No, we did the first one.
I think Holly and I watched 1 and 2 in a row. And
okay. We reviewed the first film, but we never reviewed the second one.
Right. This one,
we've talked about reviewing the third film. We've talked about reviewing the third film forever.
Well, it's because it's the best Death Wish and the worst. But in this one, they kill his Korean War friend, and then later they kill his girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, she becomes his girlfriend for like 10 minutes, and then immediately dies.
Yeah, he's like the kiss of death.
Yeah, let me go get my mail. This can't wait till tomorrow. I mean, obviously they would have just killed her a different way. I mean, the scene had to happen. It was going to happen no matter what. You know what?
And I wish there was like a separate scene, because he goes in to get this mail. She's waiting in the car. What's his name? What the fuck is his name? Again, Kolchak? Fracker. Fracker comes up and says hello and punches her in the face. The other guy puts the car in neutral and they push it down the hill, and then they run away. And then the car coasts down the hill and hits another car, and
immediately I'm thinking, well, that's not that bad.
Yeah, and then they both explode.
Yeah.
Apparently they were both Pintos.
Which doesn't happen.
And if you're a millennial, Google Pinto and you'll understand why that's funny.
Yeah.
And
you know what? Hold on, real quick. This is probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Where are we?
Where he goes up to the two guys that are like stealing his stereo and fucking with his engine, and he's like, "Well, what are you doing to that car?" He's like, "What do you care? It's my car."
And then he just shoots them.
Oh, it's so good.
Now, I want to get to that in a minute. I have a problem with the film now, watching it as a 43-year-old.
Uh-huh.
That I didn't have like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I'll get to that shortly. I wish they cut away to a part with like Fracker, like, oh shit, I didn't expect the cars to explode. I thought we were just like gonna fucking scare him.
Yeah.
If we wanted to kill the girl, would have shot her in the head. What the fuck is this?
And he's like, man, I wish we raped her first.
Yeah, right? Now, and that's like one thing that bothered me about the film is that, now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but this film came out exactly 1 year after the
Terminator 2.
No.
Oh, but it did.
No, this isn't a film reference. This is a real life reference.
Oh, okay.
The Bernard Goetz shootings in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
They happened the year before.
I think you need another one.
Yeah. I love that that was your first quote. Yeah, so Bernard Goetz shot 4 kids that tried to rob him with a screwdriver, and it was a major court hearing, and it was a big thing because it was all about, like, you know, the innocent victim taking back the streets and whatever. But these were all underage kids, and they had a screwdriver, and he shot them all, and shot one of them while they were like on the ground dying or bleeding. And so they Golden Globus rushed this film out immediately. Yeah, this is fucking topical. And the problem is, it's not that first killing he does with the two guys robbing his car. It's when he kills the giggler.
The giggler.
They killed the giggler.
He had no right to do that.
Yeah, immediately all I can think of is the first Mad Max. His name was the Knight Rider. Was it Knight Rider?
I don't think so, but I don't remember it either.
No. He was like some kind of rider. He's like, his name was the Knight Rider. It wasn't Knight Rider. What the fuck was it? I need to know.
I'm gonna find out. So
yeah, 'cause I feel embarrassed for not knowing that. But it just reminded me of that.
Don't feel embarrassed.
Man, they killed the giggler, which is actually one of the few things that made it into the films from Death Wish 2. Was the giggler.
The giggler.
Yeah. But after he kills the giggler, who he shoots in the back when he steals his fucking camera.
Yeah.
Now I'm putting perspective in it. Then like the local people come out and like the old lady say, "Hey, he's the man that stole my purse," and they all start cheering. And again, this is like the 43-year-old like semi-responsible part of me is like, wait a minute, this guy was a purse snatcher. He got shot dead in the back, and you're all cheering. It's like, what the fuck? This is really fucking demented.
All he did was steal purses and
he was a purse snatcher. It's like, all right, yeah, he definitely didn't do good for like the community's like morale, but he didn't kill anybody as far as I know from watching the film.
Right.
Well, was he involved in killing the guy in the first scene? I don't remember. He might have.
No.
Was he?
No, it was Alex Winter.
Oh, he was the other black guy that he kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, because not to be racist or all, but it seems that majority of people he kills in the film are black or minority. At least half of the people he shoots are minority. They go out of their way to make sure that like 75% of the audience of the not audience, like the background of hoodlums are white. Well, they make sure like the majority are white. But it's for the first half of the film, he only ends up shooting the black and Hispanic ones, which is a little weird. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, look at any like home security commercial. Look at any home security commercial these days. They're all white people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's always that they always go out of the way to make sure it's like, yeah, we're not trying to be racist. But then he like the first 2 out of 3 people he kills are black people. Well, still.
And it is Knight Rider from Mad Max.
Knight Rider. I was right. His name was Knight Rider. They called him Giggly. The Giggler doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't have it.
Not at all.
The Giggler. Oh my God! When I was like, oh, that's right. His name is the Giggler because he just runs and laughs.
Yeah. Well, the first scene he laughs. It's a funny thing. All throughout this film, I kept looking up online to see if there was a Wilhelm scream in this film, because there's so many people shot and screaming, falling out of windows and railings. Right. I was like, there's got to be a Wilhelm scream in here, and I couldn't find one.
Yeah. What's interesting is I was actually thinking of this film like 2 weeks ago. I was at one of my side jobs. Right? I was at one of my side jobs.
The stripping, yeah.
Yeah, one of those. And these 2, like, adolescent, almost teenage kids got thrown out of the library. And one of them couldn't stop giggling. I have no idea what they were doing. But these 2 librarians were so... It's like, you need to leave now. You need to leave now. And this kid's like... he just would... It reminded me of, like, when Gerard couldn't stop laughing. Like,
which was always
when he got into one of those fits where he just couldn't stop. This reminded me so much of that, and it reminded me of this movie because of the giggler. And I'm like, they're getting thrown out because they did something stupid, and this one kid just wouldn't stop laughing. And I'm trying not to laugh myself. I'm trying to be kind of like the voice of reason because I'm like, they're just kids. But the one woman, she threatened to call the cops on them. I'm like, they're like 11. 12 years old. Call the cops. What are the cops going to do? But anyway. But yeah, here's the caseworker. She comes and she basically asks Charles Bronson out on a date.
Where's this?
She's like 28 years old. He's like 65, and she's like, "What is going on here? What's the matter with you?"
I had like audio popping in my head from somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that.
No, it's
not
okay.
you.
No, I know it's not me.
Well, one of our listeners asked me to check our live stream feed, so I went there, and that's always a fucking debacle when I'm recording. And it said that our video's frozen. But
great.
But it seems to be live to me, so we are live. Maybe my video's frozen. I don't know.
I mean, it's recording the video as we speak, but if it's not getting out to everyone there
might have been a freeze at some point, but we're still live now, so don't worry. Don't calm down. No panic. No worries.
So the video is going through then?
Yes, the video is going through.
Okay. So it was probably when my mother-in-law was 99% of my CPU.
Apparently that was a while ago, but we're fine now, so I don't fucking waste my time.
Good.
And also apparently Crowley worked with Albin Grau, producer of the 1992 Nosferatu. I wonder where that came from.
Yeah.
But that was that was thrown at us by our veteran listener Gino Cuddy. That Crowley also has a link to Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, because Crowley was out there early 1900s. So yeah,
yeah. Now,
but anyway, sorry, sidetracked.
No. And we haven't gotten that far yet, but you have a challenge for me?
What? Hang on. We're still talking about the movie.
I know. I'm saying that doesn't come till later. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, because next week we're doing the Oscar nominations because...
Right, so I don't need the challenge right now, do I?
It's better for the audio.
To be honest, I have a challenge, but I've forgotten it.
Okay. I'll accept I'll accept that.
I was visiting the West Coast this past week, and somebody there said, you should review this film. And I said, well, I need a link, but we're doing Death Wish 3, and it's a vigilante, so it should be an easy link to do that. So, but I don't remember what that was.
Okay.
So I have a challenge. I just don't remember what it was. I probably was slightly out of my mind at the time, so that's probably why.
That's okay.
It happens a lot these days. It's sad.
It's quite all right.
Yes. Now more on Death Wish. More on Death Wish.
Yeah, sure. Oh, here's the part where he sets up the spring, where there's the two human teeth in it. So anyone crawls through the window, they lift the latch off the nail, and then boom, and the two of them are like, "Oh my god!"
Well, the best part is after that whole scene where he's like, "What are those? Teeth." They cut to a squad car, and like over the radios, that the APB and a man attempted burglary and missing 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
I was like, that was totally not needed, but it worked.
Well, yeah. Well, because the way they do it is the two guys that break in, the one guy says, "Well, we can come anytime. We're gonna come. Yeah. We're gonna make house visits anytime." And then they show him doing that, and then they show him snorting cocaine or heroin, and he's like, "I need to make a house call. I'm low on cash." And then you just hear him try to break in, and then he gets hit in the face with this board.
Here's something interesting. And Michael Winner, supposedly, from what I read, was a huge supporter of police.
Yeah.
Yet the police don't come off looking too good in this film.
No. As a matter of fact, not only was he a big supporter, but when he died, there was a whole big thing about his money. Like, they said he was worth like 100 million pounds or something like that.
Well, I think he was one of those guys that inflated his... he's like Trump. He's like, I'm worth $5 billion. And then he died like, well, you got a couple million on you.
Well, what ended up happening was he left like 5 million pounds to his ex-wife. And he had a couple of mistresses. And there was a couple of other people on his payroll. And... they said there wasn't enough money to pay everyone, But then they found 50 million pounds in like some offshore account. Like he actually had this money, he just was hiding it really well. But where I'm going with the story is they basically said that because they found this money, everyone was able to get paid, including he made a pretty sizable donation to the police foundation. So,
well, now I just want to underline this because this is the part I hooked on and I kind of lost you after that. So he had his mistresses in his will.
Yeah.
I only wish I was that rich where I could be like, yeah, yeah, that chick I was sleeping with on the side, put her in there too. Yeah, that'll be fun. Fuck it. Most awkward will reading ever.
Yeah, right. Here, I'll find it.
To the other two women I was sleeping with.
Yeah.
That's great.
Winner. Okay, here. Winner claimed during his lifetime to be worth 75 million pounds, with 25 million in offshore bank accounts, and his home worth an additional 50 million pounds. But on his death, his bank accounts were frozen, and formal investigation of his affairs began. During this, it emerged that Winner had been supporting two former lovers, both of whom had been provided with living expenses and accommodation. The financial assistance extended also to his long-term personal assistant, the former Miss Great Britain Dinah May. After investigations, it was revealed that Winner's total estate was actually worth 16.8 million pounds, with total outstanding debts of 12 million pounds. In his will, Winner had left his wife a lump sum of 5 million pounds, but the residual estate was only worth 4.75. His former wife, personal assistant, and lovers engaged probate lawyers to contest the will and their sums due from it. However, it then emerged that none of the newspapers that reported the aforementioned information about Michael's beneficiaries were correct, and they included only probate information from the UK assets. Michael Winner was on record as stating that he had substantial assets in Guernsey. When Guernsey probate was later added, Michael had left a total of 50 million pounds, and it was more than enough to provide for all his beneficiaries in full, while leaving a substantial balance to the Police Memorial Trust. So two former lovers, a personal assistant, who is the great Miss Great Britain. It's like, yeah, he basically paid off three mistresses.
Now, speaking of mistresses,
yeah,
there is a rape scene in the film with a black girl.
It's a Hispanic or Latin girl, but yes.
No. That's the first one. There's a second scene. They don't actually rape her. It's like Clockwork Orange. They're going to rape her, but they don't because he intervenes. But there's a black girl in the third act who's like topless.
Oh, you're right.
And they're going to rape her.
And you know what's interesting? I watched most of this at work today, and I was watching it on my computer screen, and I was like, I know there's at least one or two rape scenes in here, and a long time had gone by. Well, Death Wish movies always have rape.
There's at least a rape scene involved. Come on.
But a long time had gone by. And I'm like, where the hell is this rape scene? As I'm saying that, it's happening. I'm like, I got to stop this. I'm in my office. I cannot watch this here. So I ended up watching the rest of it on my phone.
See, that's the beauty of working from home is that I have rape scenes going all day, and I'm helping people.
Yeah.
Says, click that. They don't know there's a rape scene going because, hey.
No, they certainly don't.
I'm not going to tell them because I'm being, professional.
And the
anyway,
Hispanic girl that gets raped, she ends up dying because the doctor said that there was like blood clots that broke free and went right into her heart. And I'm like, she had a broken arm.
No, when that happened, I wish that like Bronson had gone, hey, wife died from rape, been there.
You'll get over it.
It's like, it's mirroring to the first film. You should have been like, hey, I've been there, man. Walk it off.
Yeah.
Help me kill a few guys. You'll forget all about it.
Which he does.
And they really kind of set him up that way too, because at the end he's like, when he's getting like the fucking like machine gun ready to mow down random people, he shows up and like, I saw you coming in. Figured you were gonna kill people, right? He's like, yeah. Want to help? Yeah. Wife died from rape, right? Yeah. Let's do it. It's like the wife died from rape club.
Oh yeah.
Come armed, because we're gonna kill some motherfuckers.
Well, here's the giggler scene.
Is the giggler scene on it? What's the number time?
47 minutes.
47. All right. I'll make sure I gotta sync up with you since I'm not watching live.
47.
Hey, I want some ice cream. Now, and that's it. Like the when he first stops the one guy and the kid gives the fist pump and he gives it back. Yeah, and he's buying the kid an ice cream, and then after he kills the giggler, the people come out. Hey, that's the guy that stole my purse. Yeah, I'm glad he's fucking dead. It's like, so then by the third act, the people there's the one scene where the local people have the chain, and when the bikers come up, they pull it and knock them off. And if you watch carefully, the one guy goes and they all just shoot at him. Yeah. And then the one guy goes down and pulls the gun off the one biker and tosses it over his shoulder, and somebody else grabs it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, now I have a gun. It's like, holy shit, things have escalated quickly.
Well, yeah, because when they get shot, and the one guy, he comes out and he's just he shoots at him again.
It's like all of a sudden.
It was a Bernie Goetz moment. It's like, I think you need another one.
The whole film was like a Bernie Goetz film.
Yeah.
And I think even Charles Bronson came out after the film and said that people that watching the film should not emulate what I'm doing because this is bad.
Well, it's just entertainment, but yeah.
Yeah, well, but yeah, it is entertainment, but it was also released the year after the Bernie Goetz thing, and you have people in the public cheering a vigilante shooting pickpockets in the back.
Yeah.
It's there again. There's the part of my brain that's like, yeah, this is fucking great, fucking machine gun, yeah. And there's the other part of my brain that's like, most of these people aren't guilty of murder, and you're just shooting them willy nilly. This is kind of wrong. So it's like, I'm a little older now. When I watch this, I feel a bit conflicted.
Yeah, and he's got free reign from the police chief. He's just like, yeah, you do what you need to do.
I'm watching the first act with Holly. He's like, and the guy says, I could kill you right now. And it's like, can a cop say that? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can.
Because you always violate everyone's constitutional rights. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hello, police officer. You see the cameras on the wall? Yeah. So there you go. Let's keep talking.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
And then he turns out to be his best buddy by the end of the movie.
She's rewatching the X-Files, so she's watching all these scenes where there's interrogations and there's cameras viewing. Yeah. And then there's this was like, yeah, this is the middle of New York City. There's no cameras. There's just there's a guy fuck you. I'll fucking kill you and plant a knife.
Yeah.
It's like Fletch 1 with Joe Don Baker.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, no one questioned the veracity when Joe Don Baker did it.
No.
No.
It was not like that scene in Copland. On the bridge.
Not that I'm comparing Joe Don Baker to Charles Bronson, mind you.
No. Although he dies real good in Cape Fear. Fucking De Niro.
Joe Don Baker dies in Cape Fear?
Yeah. He gets fucked. He gets fucked up by De Niro. He gets fucked up by De Niro. Joe Don Baker is basically like, yeah, I'm going to hang out in your house. I'm going to give you protection. And De Niro is just like, yeah, I'm going to come, dressed like a woman. And you're not going to know.
Wow, I don't remember that part at all. I watched it.
It's a really good shot, too. It's an overhead shot of De Niro, strangling Joe Don Baker with, I believe, piano wire.
All right, all I remember is honestly, all I remember from the entire film, and I took this film as in a Scorsese course, but all I remember is Robert De Niro ruining a film for them.
Right.
What's her name sucking on his thumb?
Oh, Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis, that little whore, sucking on his thumb.
Yeah.
And then Nick Nolte trying to crush his head with a rock while he's speaking in tongues. That's all I remember. I think that's all I need to remember.
Yeah. No,
I think that pretty much sums the film up.
I do like Cape Fear. I do like the remake.
honestly, I've never seen either of them from beginning to end. I just seen clips of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very biased relationship here. But I did sit through Raging Bull numerous times, so I think I'm even.
Oh, okay. One of my...
Shit, I even sat through fucking Boxcar, what's her name? One of Scorsese's early films.
Oh.
Boxcar Bertha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I still remember that. It was a class at the New School in New York City, and I still remember him. It was a Scorsese class. He has a list of all the Scorsese films, and I just kind of raised my hand and said, "Yeah, I noticed that After Hours isn't on this list." So yeah, I didn't include that because I didn't think it was one of his better films. It's like, dude, fuck you. That's his best film. I'm already failing this class. I didn't fail the class, but still, fuck you. After Hours is fucking genius. Thank you.
One of the things that I would always back in what I like to call the day. When we had Laserdisc players, and that was the best quality picture and sound you could get. It was expensive
at the moment.
Well, yeah, basically from 1979 until DVD took it out in 95, 96. Laserdisc was the best. Nobody really had it in America, but we just talked about this recently too. But the direction I'm going to go with it is...
You can say that about anything, really.
Yeah, that's true. One of the things that I would always refer to as far as why we should be watching our movies in a widescreen, letterbox format, all of that. And I would always use Cape Fear as the example. And the reason I would do that is because in the beginning of the film, or near the beginning of the film, there's a shot of De Niro getting out of prison. And in the full frame, the 4:3 aspect ratio, which is what TVs up until...
Don't throw numbers at me.
Yeah, okay. Up until the, say, early 2000s, would always come in a 4:3 aspect ratio, basically a square. And a lot of the movies, most of the movies, were shot in a widescreen format, which is how you would watch them in a movie theater. But when you actually got them for home, you'd watch them in a square 4:3 aspect ratio. Well, one of the things I would always say is, like, listen, you should be watching your films letterboxed, 16:9. That's how you should be watching them. And people would say, why? And I would always use Cape Fear as one of the examples. And the reason is, near the beginning of the film where he's getting out of prison, you see De Niro walking towards the screen. And you hear someone in the background say, "Hey, what about all your books?" He's like, "I already read them." And then he walks into the screen, fades to black, next shot. In the letterbox or the widescreen format, you see this dude with this huge ass card of books on the left side of the screen. It's not as a powerful scene unless you see this guy with this giant card of books that he's read. So, what's wrong with you?
And then they would always say, but what about Death Wish 3?
Yeah. Oh, what about it? Oh,
what are your thoughts on the movie as a whole, Joey? Come on.
As a whole?
As a whole, compared to the series, just as a vigilante film, as a social snapshot of our culture. What are your thoughts on the film?
Well, I think you nailed it. It's the best worst film in the series. That's one. Two, it's a real sign of the time because gang violence was at its peak during this era, the early to mid 80s.
That is true. Now this is around the Reagan era. Am I correct?
It is the Reagan era.
So we also had this whole misguided just say no
policy. Yep.
Kind of like just you turn a blind eye to it, and instead of like solving anything, just blaming just pointing a finger at these hoodlums. These are people causing it. And not to get too political here, but you're right. This is kind of a snapshot of the times. Also, it's also a snapshot of the exploitation of the times. So like I said, this is capturing that whole zeitgeist of Bernie Goetz is the good guy, this effeminate, poodle-owning cocksucker who shot a bunch of kids with a gun because it made him feel better. when they were trying to rob him with a screwdriver. And I always wanted to write a scene in a book where I had 4 kids with guns, and then the guy on the subway kills them with a screwdriver. I thought that would have been great. But anyway, and also the obsession with the main cop, the lieutenant, the chief, that was like that pretty much told the vigilante works for me now.
One very important thing. You work for me now.
They kept showing him killing cockroaches.
Yeah.
And it never really
perfect timing. It just happened. It just happened on screen.
I don't think it just happened. I think no, it was planned. It was scripted.
No. I'm saying as you mentioned that's what was going on the screen right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying the timing was good, is what I was getting.
Then I'm very well synced with you then, because that's what I'm watching right now.
Oh, okay.
And
this is Bronson's 6-pack in this shot, by the way. But you could see it through his shirt. Like he's standing at the window, and it's like, dude, the guy's 60-something. He's got a legitimate 6-pack.
At 63, yeah, he's fucking. He was like fucking. What's his name? Doing push-ups at the Oscars.
Oh, Jack Palance.
Palance, yeah.
One-arm push-up, yeah.
Yeah, you get these fucking hardcore guys like, yeah, I don't just fucking play this. I live it. I'm Mr. Majestic for a reason, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like guys like Burt Reynolds, they kind of dropped the ball because as they got older, they kind of just like, they didn't really keep up that thing where they could pull like shirtless scenes at 60. But fucking Bronson, give him credit, 63. He bangs the young attorney chick, and you buy it. You're like, yeah, he banged her. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. They show him putting the shirt on. She's like, well, have you ever given a thought to having new relationships? He got to him. He's like, nah. No, I'm good.
Yeah, totally fine.
He fucking sells it. Yeah. I guarantee. Is like, I have no doubt that after filming, he went and banged an early 30s, late 20s lawyer.
Yep.
just to do it, just to say, hey, I just did this in a film. I want to do it in real life. You game? Yeah. Okay, good.
In Burt Reynolds' defense, though, he's like in his late 70s, early 80s at this point.
Yeah.
He did that film with Demi Moore, Striptease, where there was a part in the film where he didn't have a shirt on, and he was like 65.
Well, he was playing a senator, not like a vigilante.
No, but I'm just saying he was in great fucking shape.
He was in passable shape. I don't know.
And Harrison Ford, he's always been in like amazing shape for some crazy ass reason.
Don't drag Harrison Ford into this, you Star Wars geek.
What? The fuck does that? That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
I know, I'm kidding.
But he's so dreamy. Anyway. Any who's a what's it?
So yeah, my main love of the film and my main problem with the film is by the third act, it becomes an all-out war between the citizens and the street people. And yeah, they get like the motorcycle gang throwing hand grenades in empty buildings, but then they're like shooting people.
Yeah.
And like the general public just comes out shooting people, and it's my older self creeping in like, hey guys, this may not be the best idea. And you're talking to somebody that grew up reading The Punisher and stuff, so I'm totally into vigilante justice. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, shooting the pickpocket in the back is not the best. But this film is totally at odds with both of my psyches. That's the problem.
Fucking jaywalkers.
Yeah, you read that issue.
Fucking ain't right.
Anybody under the age of 30 has no idea what we're fucking talking about right now.
No. If I remember correctly, didn't he get like fucking laced with like he got fucked up somehow?
Yeah. They drugged him.
Yeah.
They drugged the Punisher, and so he was like wandering around a daze. He saw two like this like young couple that were giggling and laughing, and they were like had a paper over their head because it was raining.
Yeah.
And they ran into the park and they threw it aside. He's like, litterers, and he sprayed at him. Yeah. The good old days.
Well, yeah.
But again, I'm a strong proponent of vigilante justice. But there's a part of this film that, again, because it was two Jewish filmmakers that were just like jumping on any kind of exploitation process.
Right.
I'm watching it, and the third act, I'm like, yeah, you guys might be going to. I can see why Charles Bronson himself came out and even said, no one should emulate what I'm doing in this film. And supposedly he was upset that they went back and shot. And I call bullshit on this because, as a veteran actor, you know what second like B-roll units are. They shoot the shit they're not involved in.
Right,
So they're not
right.
shooting like alternate shots when they have the star on screen. But his big thing was he's supposedly outraged because they shot violent scenes of like extras being killed, the ones he's supposedly shooting at. It's like, dude, you know how fucking cinema works.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Like they're gonna shoot you like they're gonna like shoot you like shooting over the wall, and then they'll cut to a guy going, oh. No, they're going to have his chest explode and he falls backwards. You fucking asshole. That I think is bullshit. But I do think, I would actually equate this with Jim Carrey coming out after the Kick-Ass sequel, where he said, yeah, I don't support this film because it was too violent. It's like they read their part and they get into the film and they get the money, then they get out, and then they see like the cultural reaction to it, like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have glorified violence so much.
I still haven't seen Kick-Ass 2.
Me neither, but I know his reaction to it.
And from when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, is that fucking Jim Carrey?
Yeah, and that's why. That's the only reason I want to see it is because that Jim Carrey shot. It's like, wow, that's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name in there? Stars and Stripes? Is that the name of his character?
I don't know because I haven't seen it.
I think his name. Well, I'll look it up real quick. But I think his name, his superhero name, is Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, but I mean, and I found that interesting. That's why I want to see it.
Well, that movie's fucking 4 years old already. Or 3.5. It's almost 4 years old. Oh, God.
And I find it interesting too, like these actors that'll come out and they'll say, yeah, I went into this film, but now I'm totally not backing it because it's violent. I said, dude, you read the fucking screenplay. You're not an idiot. You know what the fuck's going to go on.
Well, yeah.
And you know what the first Kick-Ass was like, right? That was violent, right?
Very. Yeah.
It's just like
Colonel Stars and Stripes.
Yeah. So this whole like, oh, I had no idea it was gonna be so violent. You're full of fucking shit.
Yeah.
Especially a big name like Jim Carrey when he's on the set. I guarantee, like, he's talking to the director, he's talking to this and that. And if he's not, he's an asshole.
Like, how can we make this more violent?
Yeah. I mean, come on. Even Charles Bronson. How many people have you killed on screen and suddenly you're concerned about, oh, the public might emulate what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You didn't give a shit about that during Death Wish 1 and 2 when you were killing fucking random people. You asshole.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the reservations I'm having as a viewer, I don't know if I give the same leeway to an actor a veteran actor. Again, we're talking Charles Bronson. How many films has he been in before Death Wish? 3? He's even been in 2 Death Wishes before Death Wish 3. And suddenly he's shocked at the ramifications of his actions in the film? Go fuck yourself. Jackass. Fucking, oh, gee, maybe the public won't like me now. And by the way, you're 63. Who gives a fuck what anybody thinks?
Yeah, that's true.
Even though you made 2 Death Wishes after this.
Yeah, he totally did.
So even then, Death Wish 3.
And not only did he do 2 Death Wishes after this, but he basically, since he made Death Wish, that's all the kind of films that he made. Evil That Men Do. What was the other one? The Yakuza movie.
Kinjite?
It might have been Kinjite.
I think it's Kinjite.
Yeah, he did that. Then he did. There was another one. What the fuck was the other one that he did? Oh man! All right, I'll look it up. We should actually take a quick look at Charles Bronson's resume of films.
Are you telling me I should look it up on IMDb while you're looking it up on IMDb?
I'm already on IMDb.
Oh, then I'm behind the game then. Okay.
Yeah. What was the other one? He did Act of Vengeance, a TV movie. He did Murphy's Law right after.
Now, let's be fair. After Death Wish 5, he didn't have much left to do because he died shortly after that. His last film was Family of Cops 3, and he died in 2003.
Messenger of Death. Kinjite. I remember that came out. I was in middle school when that came out. I remember seeing it in the back of the New York Post. Because like I've mentioned before on the show, they used to have... I'd always look at the movie section and the movie times, because in the back of the Post, it had these little pictures of movie posters of the films coming out. And I remember Kinjite being one of them.
Yeah. And I've never seen Kinjite. I have it. It's on my list. I've never gotten around to watching it. You know, and I try to explain this to people sometimes, too, because they'll say, hey, Scott, you're a movie guy. You haven't seen this yet? So listen, motherfucker. Do you know how many films come out every fucking year? Yeah. And do you know that not only am I trying to watch those, but I'm trying to watch the films that were made from, 1920-something on? So, yeah, I'm a little fucking behind. Thank you. Because I'm watching things like 36 Hours to Kill. Which, by the way, was not a good way to kill an hour and 5 minutes. But was typical of the films coming out at that time period. Google it, motherfucker.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. I'm not going to explain that shit.
Fucking Google that shit. What was the first thing that Bronson ever did? Man, he's been acting a long fucking time. Jesus Christ. When he did Death Wish, he probably had... Let's see. How many things has he done? He's done 162 different projects. And I guarantee you, by the time he did Death Wish, he had 120.
Yeah, his whole career was... Again, he's Mr. fucking Majestic. He's the melon farmer that goes on a vigilante rampage. Come on!
First thing he ever did was Fireside Theater in 1949.
Oh, all right. One of
Jesus
our other
Christ.
listeners...
And when he did that in 1949, the motherfucker was already 28 years old.
Okay, I just want to mention, because some of our listeners that are listening / watching us right now are messaging me personally on Facebook because the live stream messenger sucks balls. But hang on a second. One of our listeners has been recommending other Bronson films. Red Sun, 1971.
Okay.
Bronson and Toshiro Matsuno in original Shanghai Noon.
Valachi Papers. Valachi Papers.
1975.
Breakout, 1975. Valachi Papers. That's probably really what ended up putting him on the map.
And The Evil That Men Do in 86.
Although, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Sorry,
Once Upon a Time in the West is probably. Yeah, I mean he was already kind of famous.
Now, Gino Cuddy, who has his own podcast out, by the way, now. What's the name of that podcast, sir?
I don't know.
What?
I don't remember.
We're going to plug the podcast. You don't remember the name of it?
Well, you should have that shit ready if you're just going to blurt it out.
I'm not the producer, motherfucker.
Well, I didn't realize that I was producing another podcast. I believe... It's like the cult movie something or other.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'll get the exact name from Gino any second now. But Gino does that podcast. He's saying 10 to Midnight as another Bronson vigilante film. Technically, that doesn't count because he's not a vigilante in 10 to Midnight, which we reviewed, by the way. Didn't we?
We haven't formally reviewed it, but we've mentioned it a bunch of times.
Fuck. I think, my fascination with overrode reality. But in 10 to Midnight, he does become a vigilante, but only at the very end.
True.
And technically, he's still a cop at the time. He just, shoots when he shouldn't. But, so that doesn't really count as a vigilante film. That's borderline vigilante. But the other, one of our other listeners, listed Breakout, The Evil That Men Do, and Red Sun. All of which I've never seen, and all of which are adding to my fucking list. So, I'm on those.
I can't find it.
Find which one?
The name of his podcast.
Chino, what's the name of your goddamn podcast? We promised to review it. Hold on, I'll check.
Maybe put it in the live chat on my end.
I could have sworn I had it. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. The New Cult Film Podcast.
Ah.
It's called The New Cult Film Podcast. You can find it on YouTube. And the first film they did was Old Enough from 1984.
Ah, yes, Old Enough.
Yeah, and we will have a link to that episode on the Facebook page as soon as I can click this right here.
Sounds like a plan.
So very fucking quick. Thank you very much. and apologies to Gino. I have not had time yet to watch your podcast because I just came back from California Sunday night and I started work on Monday. And the older I get, the more fucking things I have to do before I can do the shit I want to do.
Yeah.
I hate that. And now that I'm getting married, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
What the fuck? All of a sudden I got shit to worry about that's not mine.
You got responsibilities.
Yeah, it's like, well, we have to worry about this, but that's not mine. So yeah, we have to worry about it. So, oh, fuck. Worrying about my own shit was a full-time job before this, and I'm not even married yet.
Yeah,
God damn it.
You've inherited more shit to worry about.
Yeah, I haven't even inherited it yet. Legally, I'm not bound to it yet, but I'm still fucking stuck with it. So yeah, there's that. So if you're listening to this podcast and you want to hear Gino Cuddy's new podcast on old films, on cult films called the New Cult Movie Podcast, his first episode, which is roughly 45 minutes long, can be found on YouTube, and you can find it on our Facebook page, and I'm posting it there right now.
Nice.
So if Gino ever says you never did anything for me, he's fucking lying. Because we did.
We totally did.
And we love Gino.
Oh, yeah.
With a passion that is almost illegal.
I think actually it is illegal.
Technically, it is illegal, but we still love him nonetheless.
In 37 states, I believe it's illegal.
35.
35, okay. You're probably right.
Well, the laws are changing a lot these days.
Yeah. Marijuana's legal in a bunch of states, but I just heard the other day it's legal. I don't remember the state, but they said it's legal in this state, but you can't buy it, you can't sell it, you can't smoke it in designated areas. So how is it actually legal anywhere?
What do they call a Big Mac?
A Royale with cheese.
No.
Le Big Mac.
Thank you.
Yes.
What do they call a Whopper?
I don't know. I didn't go to fucking Burger King.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, that was a Quentin Tarantino blowjob right there.
Yes, it was. That's right. What do they call a quarter pounder with cheese? Le Royale with cheese. What do they call a Big Mac? Le Big Mac. What do they call a Whopper? I don't know. I don't fucking go to Burger King.
Hold on. Since we're talking about Quentin Tarantino, can I briefly mention the film that we're not reviewing?
Are we done with Death Wish 3 then?
Oh, well, yeah. Let's take a look at that, because we are running a bit late, but it's been a while, so I feel like we're catching up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, do you have anything else to say about Death Wish 3?
No. I did just add it to my Plex today, though. I realized I didn't have any of them. I'm like, how did I review Death Wish and I didn't have the movie? It's like, did I did I just grab it off my wall and watch it? I'm like, I don't really do that.
You see this so many times, it's like subconscious.
It's probably. So the film is 5.9 on IMDb, which is probably a 6 out of 10. It's probably kind of high, to be honest.
You know, I give it a 6 out of 10.
I wouldn't mind giving it a 6.
Now, 5 is average. 5 is middle of the road. I give it slightly above average just because it's topical. Now, here's something else that Holly said to me that like totally caught me off guard. Watching the film, and they introduced the Jewish couple.
Oh,
the old Jewish couple.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the yarmulke when they introduced him at their house. And she said to me, "Why is he wearing the yarmulke?" I said, "Well, they do that, don't they?" So she said, "Yeah, but not outside of the house. They wear it outside. They don't wear it in their house."
I mean, is that true? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know enough Jewish people to be able to firmly state whether or not that's accurate or not.
I used to. I could have asked someone at work, but they retired, so now I can't.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know any Jewish people anymore. So, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Just leave it alone, dude.
I'm just going to leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
But she said, as far as she knows, that Jewish people don't wear yarmulkes in their house. They only wear them when they go outside. And I said to her, hey, I was on the plane coming back from California, and there was a guy with a yarmulke, and he was holding it out with, like, hairpins. She said, yeah, they do that. But they wear them outside. They don't wear them in their house. So the fact that this Jewish guy, her point was, the only reason they have him wearing a yarmulke in the house is so they can tell you he's Jewish without saying, hey, by the way, he's Jewish. and I buy that. Now, considering the film was made by two Israeli filmmakers, Golden Globus,
right?
I don't consider that racist in the least.
Well, the director was Jewish too, so...
Winner was Jewish as well?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that, because his name doesn't sound Jewish.
Well, he was born in the UK, but his parents were Jewish, so...
Well, see, there you go. So you had a Jewish director and two Jewish producers.
Yep.
So if Jewish guys wearing a yarmulke in the house, then that's how it's done.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Even if it's not how it's done, that's how it's done. Because we can argue it. 3 Jews? Fuck that.
It's more than that, I think. But yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting into that argument. I'm just going to say, okay, hey, you wear the hat wherever you want. I assume they wear the hat everywhere. But that's just me.
Hey, listen, I don't know enough. I would buy it. Oh, you wear it everywhere? Sure, why not?
I'll buy that for $1. So we're going to say 6?
6 is fine.
All right. Our official rating on IMDb is 6. Taking a quick peek at the demographics, which is my favorite part of the thing. Here's the interesting thing. Highest rating is 6. Second highest is 5. Third highest is 1.
Oh, my.
That's interesting. So you got kind of like it. It's okay. There's no, like, the 10 ratings are really low.
Total horseshit.
All right, here we go. Highest rating is males under 18, 7.1%.
Okay.
People twice the age of me love this fucking film.
Twice? Well, they also voted for Trump. That's a guarantee.
Don't blame that on the young people. Let's not blame that on the millennials.
Oh, okay.
Now, who did not like this film? Lowest percentage on IMDb? Males, 45 and higher, 5.3%. 5.3 rating.
Oh, when you said twice the age of you, I thought it was like 67-year-olds. That's why I said...
No, I meant half the age.
Fine. So you confused me.
I'm sorry. Age under 18, 7.1.
Yeah, nobody under the age of 18, or well, I shouldn't say under the age of 18. Millennials did not vote for Trump.
Now, this should be this should explain something to you. All the people under the age of 18, 7.1 for Death Wish 3.
Yeah.
9. Males under the age of 18, 7.1. 9. No women under the age of 18 have ever rated this fucking film. So if you're a female under the age of 18, you were like, I'm not even fucking watching this. Why would I watch this? Now, if you get to our age, 30 to 44, males 6.0, female 5.8, because hey, there's rapists and they're killing them. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. But
the lowest demographic is females over the age of 45. They're at 5.3 average.
Okay.
That's males. Males under the age of 45, 5.3. Females over the age of 45, 6.2. Again, they're killing rapists. Extra star. As long as you kill a rapist in a film, you're guaranteed 1 star higher by the female population. Unless they're under 18, because they don't understand what rape is, because they've been watching Twilight too much.
Right.
And they think rape is just what your boyfriend does when he turns into a werewolf.
Ah, yes.
Oh, by the way, IMDb staff, 1 member of IMDb staff, 4.0. Fuck you.
I was looking at the stats for this movie, or like the cost, the budget. This movie cost $10 million.
I'm also getting the feeling that the IMDb staff is like 30 years and under.
Probably.
Because whenever you get to the films like this, like one IMDb member didn't like it. So yeah, because they're probably 20-something.
No, that's probably accurate.
Yeah, you didn't grow up during the Reagan era. Fuck you. And you know what? I grew up in the Reagan era, and I still have reservations about this film. So
yeah, it's like, oh, you absolutely loved the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Oh, okay. Dumbass.
Now you're making me wonder what the IMDb crowd has rated the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Hold on, because this is going to blow it out of the water. I'm going there right now.
I'm either going to look brilliant or I'm going to look really stupid.
I got a feeling you're going to look brilliant. Hang on. IMDb staff, 6 people rated it, 6.9. That's right. That's right. Almost 7 stars.
7 out of 10
IMDb
for the
staff.
SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
IMDb staff has rated the SpongeBob SquarePants film fucking smart. I almost want to... Have you ever seen Season 7 of Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Oh, I'm sure I've seen some of it.
The movie Laser Blast. And Carl Malton, I'm probably getting the name wrong, but Malton, he did his book of movie reviews.
Yeah.
And he gave Laser Blast 3.5 stars. So the end credits, they go through every film he ever gave 3.5 stars. Like, oh, look, Prince's Honor. Exact same level as Laser Blast. It just kind of shows how useless the fucking star process is as a rating system.
Yeah.
And also how useless film critics are.
Yeah.
Leonard Maltin, thank you.
Leonard Maltin.
Leonard Maltin.
Leonard Maltin. Well, I'll tell you, I like the 4-star. I don't like it when they do 5 stars. I believe 4. It's like if you go over 4 stars, it's ridiculous. Stop it.
Here's my problem: when they do 10 stars, it's like, dude, why don't you just do 5 stars and do like halves? That's what bothers me. And also, ironically, when they do 5 stars but they give you the half point, I'm like, just do 10 stars. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, I think 5 stars should be reserved for products, like say your Amazon products or whatever product. 4 stars is for movies. 10 stars, IMDb does that. That's kind of their thing.
But IMDb does 10 stars, right?
Yeah.
Amazon is 5 stars.
And the tradition forever was 4 stars for films.
But that kind of moved off of like restaurants and stuff, like a 4-star restaurant, 4-star hotel. So restaurants and hotels are 5 stars. I thought they were 4-star.
No, there's 5-star.
I've been staying at the wrong fucking hotels. Holy shit!
That's why like the little motels and stuff are 3.
I like to stay at places that are 1 and then act surprised when they're okay. Hey, no one mugged me at night. This is fucking great. What do you think?
It's like a hotel out of Death Wish. I'm surprised I'm still alive.
Yeah. I'll get that sometimes when I travel for my company, and the people that I'm traveling for say, yeah, how come you're spending so much on this hotel? So, well, because I don't stay at 2-star hotels, because I don't enjoy being woken up with a gun in my face at 3 a.m. And I'm not fond of bed bugs.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or semen.
No. Oh, here's the part where he gets blown up.
And here's the most ridiculous part of the film.
I'm totally getting that face. That is going to be the banner.
The weird thing is like he blows up their leader. He's a fucking molten pile of rubble. You can't even recognize him.
Yeah.
But then it's almost like when they killed the queen in Alien. It's like, all right, we're done. We have to go now. The queen's been killed. It's such a ridiculous fucking ending where they kill the head guy and everybody's like, yeah, we're done. We should go back and like get jobs at Kmart. See, no. Now you have, because in the beginning of the film, he comes back from jail and there's one guy, I'm assuming it's like his VP filling in for him. He's like, hey, you've been filling in for me while I'm gone. Yeah. Oh, as a reward, I'm going to stab you in the throat. And he does. And they're like, okay, now we're back to business. They're like, shit, that's fucking cruel. So when he dies this one, it's like, yeah, no one's want to step up for it. But hey, he's not going to come back and stab you in the throat. Who's going to fill in the,
Yeah, there's got to be a
Captain
there's got to be
O'Hurley is
another
gone.
there's got to be another number 2.
Yeah, where's Alex Winter? Does he die in it? Does Alex Winter actually die in this film? I don't remember if he gets shot or not.
He
I don't remember if
does.
there's-
He does. He had a shotgun. He was pointing it at Bronson. Then the chief shoots him. He goes, "I owed you one, dude."
I thought that was him. Okay, right.
He calls Bronson dude like 3 times in this movie.
Right. Because all the cops, all the square cops call people dude.
Yeah, totally.
But then again, you gotta figure when he was in the '60s, he was probably the right age. He's one of those hippies that became a cop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's like, this ain't only for me. I need a fucking steady paycheck.
Working for the
He went
man.
from being a hippie to being the cop. There's a whole backstory to that character I could write like now about him being a former hippie.
Probably. All right. So I guess we're pretty much done.